Hey everyone, Bryan Barletta here, and I'm about to bring you through a Sounds Profitable Deepdive Quick Hit. We're here with Tony Simmons of Sonnant, and we're going to dig in first to some advertiser side things. Tony, why don't you say hi to the audience and tell us a little bit about Sonnant, and let's dig in.
Hi, Brian. Hello, everyone. Good to be here and talk to you about how Sonnant is turning voice into data, and that data is being used to automate a lot of tasks across the audio publication lifecycle. And also now we're going to dig into how that data can help both advertisers and publishers sell more of their inventory more effectively. Everyone wants to revenue up. That's the goal. That's what we're here to discuss today.
I think that's really great because your main focus more than anything has always been taking the audio data and doing more with it, right? Taking every bit of data you can get out of it, whether it is sentiment analysis, whether it's contextualization, whether it's using AI to figure out different placements and stuff. But our focus previously has been on how to empower the publishers, the people with that audio data, to do something with it on behalf of other people, whether they're themselves for growth or with the advertisers to kind of convince them that this is the right place for them to be buying. But you hit on something really interesting here. This is the first time, at least on the deep dives, we're digging into the advertiser side of it, right? This is a product specifically for advertisers to utilize this data of the publishers they're looking to buy from. And that's got me really excited because the buyers are the people who are going to help us get not just to $2 billion, but to $20 billion.
Absolutely. And I think, one of the things that struck me a couple of months ago with this setup is that we're talking about a marketplace. You have publishers who are, as you know, the supply side, and the advertisers on the demand side. And what's in the middle is a marketplace. How do you make demand meet supply or supply meet demand? And as we focus on, the datification of the audio industry, as we like to call it, we've been looking at the ways in which both of those sides can marry up more effectively. People might call it programmatic, but there's a number of different components to that, and really how that data can help the advertisers have more confidence that the money they're going to spend is going to reach their audience, hit the right place, and they can get clarity and line of sight on where it's being spent.
Awesome. So this data today, you're going to walk us through it in the platform, but is your intention long-term for this to be available everywhere? Like any platform that, like you mentioned, programmatic or more marketplace-based buying, is the goal to have this available through API and through other sources to use and optimize on?
Yeah, absolutely. And we're at that point now where most of our customers are using the data via API. They're pulling that data into existing workflows or existing systems to help them create a more holistic picture of what they've got, to enable their decision makers to make more informed decisions at the time they need to make a decision. And really, this AI-driven data is more about being a companion and filling in the picture rather than replacing anything they've already got.
It's a great approach. Let's dive in.
Okay, so, what are the things that a publisher wants to be able to do and the advertiser wants to be able to do is they want to be able to find a great place for all their ads to go in the content. The publisher wants to make sure that there's a seamless audience experience, it's not jarring, and there's good fit on both sides. I think we can agree that both sides of the marketplace want that. So in order for that to happen, what are the things that data can do? It can help you sell better, sell more, and allow the buyers and the brands and the advertisers to buy easier. So what we've done working with all of our customers is created a range of visualizations which really dovetail into the advertiser's requirements to be able to see that if they have a brief, and we talked about just before offline being able to sell a fast food chain or burgers, and everyone knows McDonald's, they're going to say, we want to find shows that are friendly. We want to be able to find shows that have family themes and, perhaps talk about good times. And that's kind of the high-level brief that these advertisers are going to have. And then what we're able to do is go, no worries, let us dive into our inventory and find shows that match that and be able to prove it really quickly using a whole range of visualizations. So, customers are using the word cloud, and it's funny, we started with a word cloud as the first thing. I didn't see the value in it, but now our customers see huge value in being able to see a show. The words, the bigger they are, the more these brands are talked about, and you can dive in and look at different layers. What are the key terms that are being talked about on any show, or go the other way and say, I'm looking for these key terms. Can you help me find these types of themes? So again, we've built it now so the customer can just type in whatever terms they want, edit the terms, create the terms they want, and then it will go in and find all the shows that marry up with these terms, these themes, these IAB categories. So again, the advertiser can set the rules, and you can go and find these things instantly and give them exactly what they want so that they have confidence that their advertising dollar is going to hit the mark within that show.
So you're transcribing the content, you're using all the AI tools that you've built in here to make sure that you're highlighting and understanding the difference of how each of the terms are used. And you're saying this tool can be used two ways. One, as a buyer, if a publisher has given me like whole access to all of their inventory, I could use this to kind of filter down to the inventory that I do want to target and make it easier to remove some shows that I don't think are worthwhile or don't match with us. Put some things in that caution or watching area to see, like, is this worth the risk? Does this make sense? Is this really where I want to be challenged on? And then put your safe bucket over there. But also what you're saying is that a buyer can set this up, and then a publisher can kind of bounce their own content up against that in an attempt to create a pool of inventory for that buyer to accept.
Absolutely. Yep. You can have your whitelist and your blacklist terms so that you essentially come up with a perfect marriage between these two, sides of the marketplace.
I think that's really a great approach, because we tend to think about a lot of these tools, especially as we get into brand safety and suitability, as just paring things down, right? It's you give them an entire cake and they cut out the slice that they want and you're left with the rest of the cake, which, I mean, on my end, I'll eat as much cake as I get. But I think that the other aspect of it is saying, like, here's my plate and here's what I want, and you have the ability to fill it for me, and the Sonnant is going to be here to make sure you're putting the right things on the plate. That's really attractive. I don't think I've seen anybody take it from that approach. So I like the idea that you can come at it from both angles, right? The paring it down for what was offered, but also sorting it at time of entry to make sure that you're only getting what you want. I think this is great. I love the content exploration side, like you said there, the word cloud. It's something that reminds me a lot of product management and product research, and seeing those words on there, they do make it very easy to gravitate towards there. The charts above that we kind of scrolled by, those are, it looks like the number of mentions in the area that we're looking there, because that's what the number is at the top of the pike. And then the other one was the specific keywords and how prominent they were.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think there's a couple of things going on here. We're also looking at where the conversations are emanating from and where they're going. So you can call this being able to capture trends, being able to capture cultural moments, cultural events, things that are happening, so that you can see where the conversation's going. And one of the examples that's trendy at the moment, this Oppenheimer Barbie thing that's been trending for a while. So when this started to happen, you could see all this chatter about Barbenheimer or Oppenheimer and Barbie. And what the salespeople are able to do is that, this is the other side, the publisher side is able to say, wow, look at all this conversation that's happening around movies and going to the cinema. Let's go approach the movie chains and say, now's the time to be advertising on radio or in podcasts because the conversation's aligned with your brand. So now you've got this demand push, supply pull. You're able to really marry both sides up and say, we understand what's in our content. We understand what the conversation is. We can go and approach new brands and new advertisers because there's opportunities all over the place within conversation for them to enter the fray. And from the other side, the advertisers coming in say, find me something that looks like this. I've got money to spend. I need audio as a complementary marketing channel. Bang, you can just type in the key phrases or the terms, and all of the shows that match that, even down to ad slots, become available for you to be able to see.
Yeah. And can you scroll up one further? So this one really caught my attention on there. Specifically, what I saw was cost of living, right? And what I liked about this is that showing all the positive terms, but adding in a negative term there. Because if you see like further into the chin, you see that little red bump, right? We have that giant yellow bump for expensive, I think is the jump there,
Yep.
right? Some of these things like being able to look at both of them side by side is really powerful, right? Being able to see if there are positive keywords that you're chasing and negative keywords that tend to follow along with them and determine your tolerance between the two is also really attractive there, because how much can someone talk about something that you think detracts from the focus on what you want to be associated with, like cost of living? Probably not a conversation that you want to throw an ad right near, right? But like expensive is a tough one too. But like, I think it was, like if it was something else, right? If it was a positive sentiment, figuring out that line between the two of them. You could talk about expensive and luxury and then put an ad on there for away suitcases, and that could be really appealing there. But if cost of living conversation goes up too much, that could be a detriment. That could pull away from it. It could mean expensive isn't in the sense of people open to buying expensive things, buying luxury things, but rather detracts from it. So
Yep.
being able to see this visualization and compare the two of positive and negative in your own view is really great. And are these individual shows, or are these like a grouping of shows that we're looking at?
Yeah,
right
you
now?
can create your own grouping. So, you can have...
That's awesome.
Yeah, look, you can set it up by collection. So you can do it by show. You can do it by groups of episodes. You're able to set it up and slice and dice as you need. You can pin then your charts. So as more content comes in, it's updating in real time.
Fantastic. Well, Tony, is there anything else to run through on this one?
Yeah, I was just going to say the last bit, obviously you've got, now you're able to pick a collection. So if you've got a show, in this case we're just calling it sports, you're able to say, find me other shows that have similar thematics around that. So if someone's drilling into a particular key term or a particular location, and in this one we were looking at sports in particular, find me all the other shows that are related to sports. And, it's quite a general term, but we found AFL, which is Australian Rules Football. We found SEN, which is the Sports Entertainment Network. So immediately it's picked up all the different feeds of shows that are similar. So again, you can build out, okay, well, if this show doesn't work for you, we've got all these other shows. And that's really important because a lot of our customers are still selling by show and they've got programmatic capabilities, but if a show's sold out and an advertiser still wants to spend money, you can say, well, that show is not available, but here's all the other ones that we do have positions, and you can see the similarity score between these particular shows.
I think that's great. Anything that creates neighborhood around a podcast allows growth and expansion, because no matter how good one show is for one brand, at a certain point that brand is going to need to branch out. And this is going to allow you as the publisher to kind of guide them towards more of your inventory if you have relevant topics, or push them for things that are relevant based on performance.
It's all about being able to make sure that inventory fill is at a premium level. Being able to look at the data this way, we've just seen people being able to find exactly what they want, or being able to say, this is unsold, what does it look like? Okay, let's go find an advertiser that marries up with those kind of themes.
Absolutely. Well, Tony, this has been an awesome Sounds Proper product deep dive quick hit, and I'm excited to do a few more with you. So thank you for joining me today. And I highly recommend that everybody reach out directly to Sonnant to get a demo of this product, because it is definitely way more in depth than we covered in this 10-minute video.
Thanks, Bryan.